Good morning. So today we have very famous. Good morning. So today we have very famous astrologer, Jagadish, talking about the life of zero gravity. Before that, we have a couple of announcements. So today at 4 o'clock, we have a talk by the famous guardian, Dr. Rajendra, and he will speak on the relevance of Mahatma Gandhi in the contemporary world. This is one announcement. Then we have a very famous movie on 8th of this month at 3 to 6 o'clock. This movie is about the famous mathematician Shiva Netra. The title of the movie is The Man Who Knew Infinity. So that movie got a lot of hours. Today at 4 and then 8 o'clock. So we are fortunate enough today, we have a very famous astrologer, Jagadish, and he has a lot of accomplishments. I think they're difficult to go. But just briefly, he is a serial entrepreneur of over 4 decades in the fields of power electronics and 90 years. He started traveling. It's a very interesting word. Playing with. No, it's dabbling. He started dabbling in the astrology as a hobby over 20 years. Yeah. In course of time, his interest and competence in astrology grew through active participation in various internet forums and through the discussion of astrological charts with exponents in the field. Today, he is a world-renowned astrologer, and he has, in his inimitable way, opened up new annals in deciphering complex world charts. So it's a lot of achievements, and we are all fortunate enough to receive him today. And I hand over the microphone to
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let me welcome all of you for this presentation on a life of zero gravity. Before moving on, let me thank Hindu University of America, led by Sri Abhinavji and his entire team, including Mr. Mahapatra and others. And I feel that it's a great opportunity for me to make a presentation. And I hope the presentation will make a lot of meaning in trying to portray what India is all about. And also the core subject, and that is on spirituality. Fundamentally, it is amounting to spirituality. We will go on to that. The essence of this is just trying to bridge science and spirituality. There has been missing links. Science doesn't talk about soul and mind. It is all only by effects they talk. That is where the science ends up. But the major point is, until and unless the word soul and the mind finds a place, the life won't be complete. That is why I have done this presentation as a life of zero gravity. India is the spiritual capital of the globe. We have a lot of eminent scientists, saints, mystics, sages, yogis coming from different backgrounds. And I feel every Indian is definitely fortunate to be amidst the company, no matter what is the level of his or her own accomplishment. However, I'm not trying to belittle other nations. Spirituality exists even in other nations. But the degree and the intensity may vary a little bit here and there, but it does exist. Now, let me move on to my subject, a life of zero gravity. I'm talking about two words, life and zero gravity. Gravity, as we know, is a matter of subject matter of science. And how does that find a place in our life is of utmost importance. And that is what I'm trying to, that is why I said I'm going to bridge science and spirituality and make it more appealing for the common man to get a better hang of the subject. Gravity, the dictionary meaning, let me spell it out. The force of attraction by terrestrial bodies tend to fall toward center of the earth. That is one meaning. The other one is heaviness or weight. Then yet another meaning which makes sense is serious or critical. Here is a combination where by virtue of getting the hints from the spiritual base, we are going to cover the gamut of issues connected with with gravity. So now how does that dictionary meaning affect the human life? Human beings also have a gravity, like any physical design. Any design, no matter which item it is, normally the designers take the center of gravity into account, otherwise the equipment cannot stand. Like even in the case of microphone, what I am using now, there is a center of gravity. If you alter that, the microphone will not be able to stand on its own. So that means the word gravity has such a in-depth meaning, which is in a way beyond our comprehension. It is just limited to science right now. But the spiritual perspectives of that is something beyond our comprehension. That is what I am trying to bring out in this presentation. Now, mind, when I said that the law of attraction of Newton it is attracting every object. Every object has a mass, and every object is pulling another object. This is what the gravitational law of Newton says. It is true, it is applicable even for human beings. But the main question is, can you at all term human beings as mass? A person weighing normally about 100 kgs, can we call it as mass from the point of view of science and technology? Yes, I would agree with Newton on that point, because when we say human being, it's not the physical body we are talking about, it's a human mind is involved. Human mind can very well be, for all virtual purposes, equated as a heavy mass. Weight may be the weight of the earth itself, because it is so very complex. We are involved with so many things. We have everything under the sun going on in our mind. So I would term mind as the heaviest object in the world. And imagine the entire population of the globe. Every human being has a mind. What is a kind of law of, how the law of gravitation of Newton from the scientific point of view can be applied onto this? Now, we have discussed as to what is gravity, center of gravity. So it has been made amply clear that any physical object that we have on earth has to have a center of gravity, otherwise it cannot stand alone. So now when it comes to question of human beings, what is that center of gravity? This is the crux of the life, human life. And that is precisely what we are all missing for some reason or the other. And I would term that state as a sort of a spiritually anemic. We are deficient in that. That is why we find so much of controversies, contradictions, conflicts in this world. If we have to achieve peace, be it from the political point of view or the social point of view, it is not possible until and unless we recognize this center of gravity of the human being. What is that center? That is the eye center or the Shiva Netra. I'll go on to that a little more in detail as we progress further. Human mind, as I've already mentioned, it is just that it is the weight of earth. Each one of us On a weighing scale, we may weigh 80, 100, 90, 100 kgs, but in effect, it is something, the weight of the earth we are carrying, because so many thoughts are crossing our mind. We are lost. Today, I'm here talking to you. Tomorrow, maybe after 2 hours, I go somewhere else. I'm gathering information. My mind is getting loaded. If you really compute in a virtual sense, it's a massive weight that every human being is carrying, and it's a very tricky subject. Whereas the medical fraternity just ends up in saying that it is brain. Brain is a part of human anatomy, but mind is way beyond that. And that is why even the medical fraternity cannot go beyond a certain point. And that can be achieved only through spirituality. And though the neuroscientists, psychologists, they talk about subconscious mind and all, it ends up just at that level, and nothing beyond that they'll be able to go. Now, going a little further into scientific perspectives, as said by Newton, which is accepted universally, and there is no dispute about it, and it is correct also. To design anything, yes, you have to consider the center of gravity of the object that we are trying to design, whether it's an aircraft or it is a train or a bus or any object. Now, this Einstein has the theory of relativity, whatever he has propounded. He was having his own way of presentation. However, his mind was attracted by a book called as A Treatise of Human Mind by David Hume, that is in 1873. He was an empiricist. That means all knowledge that is derived is from sensual experiences, sensual perceptions. And sensual perceptions, it has got wider repercussions as far as the human beings are concerned. That is where, again, the human beings are on a path unacceptable from the point of view of Creator. Though we are not going to the spiritual aspect, still I'm compelled to bring about these points, otherwise the presentation won't be complete, the life is not complete. It is, we may ignore, like I'm not bothered about all that, I just want to achieve it. It's all through sensory perceptions that we are going to achieve. So, when David Hume said that all knowledge is derived from sense experiences, it includes anything and everything in the universe, whatever we are saying today. All the science, technology, social habits, anything, everything is included, is covered only by the sensual perceptions or the sensual experiences. Now, how does this happen? That is because of the Pancha Tattvas, that is fire, earth, air, water, and Akash. It is only in case of human beings that element of Akash or ether is present. In a four-legged animal, it is present in a very feeble manner. It has no thinking power. It has intelligence for its survival, but beyond that it cannot function. So there are 84 lakhs of species in this universe, including human beings. The difference between an animal and human beings it is just that Akash is missing in case of animals, and Akash is the only capital for the human beings. That is how we are at the top of the creation. We are at the highest step in the creation. And we need to take advantage of it. And we are, however, guided by the Pancha Tattvas, fire, earth, air, water, Akash. Now that is one asset the human beings have. Akash is the asset that human beings possess. Every human being possesses. Maybe the degree varies due to so many reasons. Now, these 5 tattvas, Pancha Tattvas, activates the Panchendriyas. What are the Panchendriyas? It is eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin. Panchendriyas. That is how the human beings are able to carry on their life in this universe. And this Panchendriyas, it is activating the 9 portals of the human body. That is 2 eyes, nose, ears, mouth, and the 2 lower orifices, reproductive and excretory organs. We are all the time running our life, carrying on our life only through the 9 portals. We haven't applied our mind to the 10th portal. What is the 10th portal? 10th portal is nothing but the Shiva Netra, or the 3rd eye. It is the medical parlance would be the region of the pineal gland. In fact, neuroscientists, psychologists, psychiatrists have gone into that point quite deeply, but they have a limitation because they do not have any knowledge of either the soul or the mind, though they still speak about the subconscious mind. They talk about the mind. Let me bring out some more finer points of it. It is manas, that is mind. They equate that to manas, treating that as mind. Actually, that is not mind. It's one of the ingredients of mind, manas. Then buddhi, intelligence. First comes chitta, the subconscious mind. Then comes manas. It's a thinking factory. We keep on thinking. Our mind is totally, not a single split second the mind will, our thoughts will become stable. It's a thinking, massive thinking factory. It goes on and on. Then comes the buddhi, the intelligence. The intelligence is again deciding what is right, what is wrong, with the background of the chitta and manas. As the intelligence is applied, it is leading to more and more and more thoughts. It's a syndrome. You come to this end, it starts with the other end. It just goes on and on. Then comes the ego, that is the I-ness, the assertiveness, that look, I did this. Today I am delivering the lecture here. I am giving the presentation, this I-ness. So the Panchendriyas leading to the 9 portals have its master, which is the mind. That is, mind is a set of concepts, it's a bundle of concepts. It's beyond our comprehension in so many ways. Because it's abstract, we don't see, there is no physical existence, it is non-materialistic. Had it been having a material entity, we could have touched, felt, tampered with that, manipulated with that, tried no more. It is not, unfortunately, that. And this is leading to the 9 portals. All our activities are being done through the 9 portals. We have given no regard to the 10th portal at all. That is a Shiva Netra. And we have a habit of confusing mind with brain. Mind is a hardware like the computer hardware. I'm sorry, brain is the hardware. Brain is the hardware like a computer hardware. Mind is a software. That software is being run with the help of the hardware. We need the hardware, otherwise software has no meaning. Again, software is a concept. You can't touch, you can't feel it, you can't see it. You know only the effects of it when you use the hardware and see it on the screen. Then you know the power of the software. Otherwise, we are simply ignorant of it like that. So mind is actually playing the role of a computer software. What for are we using the software? Whether it is for accounting, or it is for graphics, or any other design, all that is a different matter. Because of the paucity of time and limitations of the subject, we are not going into the details of it like that. See, when I say it's a software, I don't know what kind of software is running in over the hardware of brain. Perhaps a criminal may be planning to carry out a criminal action using the same very hardware what a saint is using for his transcendental meditation. Or a family man is planning to run his family by eking out his life through moral means. So that means it is amounting to the fact that we are not able to recognize the 10th portal. It's of no consequence. We would have, every Indian would know what is Shiva Netra, what is third eye. Fine, knowing it doesn't help. Knowing it is only a matter of a hobby like stamp collection, or you collect books, you collect something. It doesn't help. It doesn't take us forward at all. Now the pineal gland, as explained by the medical professionals and accepted, they are even able to give a picturize as to how a pineal gland would look like, what are the functions. They said that is the threshold of the spiritual world, they have called it. That is a limitation for the simple reason the kind of the soul and the mind they are not able to comprehend. It is not a part of their academic career. It is not their cup. We don't blame them. We just use the benefits given by them and there ends the matter. But the human life is way beyond that. If at all we have to find a state of equilibrium, our own equilibrium, let alone the society, let alone the country. Personally also, we are not able to find a state of equilibrium as far as our mind is concerned. Unfortunately, there is a lack of understanding even amongst very evolved human beings who might have very good qualification, experience, exposure, everything. The sensual pleasures are being pursued by us. We are only after sensual pleasures. We are mistaking pleasure for happiness. Pleasure is something which is derived from by the effects we feel from our senses. That is the 9 portals which are described, activated by the Panchendriyas. So there is a huge lot of confusion between pleasure and happiness. What all we experience through the 9 portals of the organs, let us call it that way, is all pleasures. Every pleasure ends up in a pain. We are unfortunately not able to realize it. We pray God. Why do we go to temples? We pray God. What do we pray? Give me a good son, or my son is already there. Give him good education. He should get a job. He should get a high-paying job. This is the way human beings are functioning. And we are not trying to teach spirituality here. It's not a spiritual classroom. It is just that I'm presenting the facts we would have just been experiencing every day. So what all pleasure we get from the 9 portals, they will end up in a pain. We attend a party function, we eat some good sweets and things like that. Next day we go to a doctor. We are under medical treatment. I'm not saying that going to a party will bring you disease. That is not my message. I'm only trying to say that it ends up in ultimately pain. Or we take a small child and it eats something not favorable. It may not be able to digest it. Okay, now you go to a doctor. Every aspect of the pleasure derived from the senses ultimately ends up only in pain. And thus the life on earth, life in this universe is a matter of pain which people will not accept this statement. They will not listen to anything about Shiva Netra. We only talk about it, but we have done nothing about it to go towards, walk at least a few baby steps towards that. And the big confusion between pleasure and happiness. As I repeatedly mentioned, pleasure is a matter of experience through sensory organs. Happiness is a matter of state of mind. We have not, in the first place, recognized what mind is about. Like, when we are too tired, when we are too stressed up, we listen to music. I would say, to an extent, it gives a mental satisfaction or happiness. It may not lead to pain, but until and unless you make it a habit, you get addicted to that, it's not going to end up in pain. You get relaxation, you get recreation. That means you are recreating, you are reinforcing your skill sets to do something better. This apart, there has been a terrible confusion about entertainment and recreation. What I said, listening to the music is a matter of recreation, but entertainment is like going to a movie. Are you really getting entertained? You make somebody big by saying, okay, he acted very well, this, that, all that paraphernalia, we try to add that. So the big difference between, identify the difference between pleasure and happiness. What human beings have to do is to look for more happiness than pleasure. The more we chase pleasure, the more we are getting entangled in this world. Ultimately, it ends up in pain. I'm not saying give up your car and walk. I'm not saying give up your car, cycle down to your workplace. That is not the message. I'm only trying to put a limit on the mind to think about pleasures, think about happiness, which is the ultimate one.
Really, in modern times, the purpose of music is getting lost. It's becoming...
Absolutely, absolutely. I agree with you. I agree with you that music, we are getting addicted to some music just because we want to pass time. Now I'm coming on to the same point. Time. Time is a source of energy. It is a passive energy. It is the most powerful energy in this universe. But it is passive. Like electricity also is a concept. When you touch it, you know the consequences, but you can't see, you can only feel it. But it is still a concept with instantaneous effect. You can store electricity. Time is a passive potential power, the most powerful energy on earth. You can't touch, you only feel it like electricity. You can't store it, you can't tamper, it's absolutely tamper-proof. In my opinion, if you ask me, what is that? A foolproof method. What can never be tampered in this world is time. God himself will not give you back that time. He may give you better opportunities in terms of, but it's at the cost of time. We are not recognizing that. We have a wristwatch which can be very accurate to the second in a matter of even 1 year. My watch is very accurate. It goes slow or fast. 1 second per year, I can claim any kind of specification. But let's remember, time is energy, first of all. Oh, okay, I just want to spend 2 more days in Orlando, go to Disney World and see all the most items which feeds me with a lot of pleasure. 2 days is something phenomenal. We are not able to recognize. I come to Orlando, I would like to go to Disneyland because why? People are saying it's a beautiful place, go and see. It has got its popularity. There is so many people come from the world, massive. It's a tourist spot. We picturize that Disneyland as something marvelous. I spent 2 days there. 2 days is something really a big amount, a big period, huge period. We lose time. Time we are not able to value. Everyone talks, management gurus talk about time management, quality time management, so on and so forth. But there, nobody has projected time as energy. Time is a potential energy. It is something which you can never get back. You can't store, you can't tamper, you can do nothing about it. It just passes on. Mind is also falling in the category of that. It's a very, very powerful energy, but it's abstract. It's a concept, like density. It has a physical component. Matter per volume is density. Matter is physical, volume also in a way is physical, but it's space. And we call it as a density is just only a number. We say, okay, traffic density was very high coming to this place. That means What impact it makes on me is the traffic density. But I am not able to value that because it has got two physical components. One is the objects in a particular place, and related to the volume, the ability to accommodate those many vehicles on earth is a space involvement. That is why time is called as, it is simply not called time, it is space-time. There can be no space without time. There can be no time without space. They are knotted together. The technically correct word is space-time. We are not able to appreciate space, least of all time. We want to move. Where is the space? It's God-given. It's universe. It's an infinite. Time, yes, it's infinite. Spend the day as you like. Who is policing you that? No one is policing. Fine, do it. It has its roots in the karmic theory. The doctrine of karma is all about, I give you free will, please use it as you like. Use your space and time as you like. As you sow, so shall you reap. Do you want to see a movie, or do you want to take a book and read and enlighten yourself on a particular subject, physics, chemistry, mathematics, whatever? And we have devices to measure time. So many accurate devices. Probably the nuclear clock, GMT, Greenwich Meridian Time, which has got so many repercussions. It can't go even 1 second slow or fast in a matter of 5 years, 10 years. So very accurate. It's required for aviation purpose, so many things. I'm not commenting on that. I'm not saying that don't use the device. I'm only saying that it is still being pursued as a source for creating infrastructure for our living rather than time as energy. So our mind goes entirely onto the accuracy of that time. The wristwatches what we wear, in my opinion, is an elapsed time indicator. It's a stopwatch. It started at my birth. It's going to end up at the last breath. Entire presentation about time, as understood by this universe, as by the entire humanity, time has become a sort of an elapsed time. We say, okay, tomorrow 12 o'clock. We are going by the wristwatch, no doubt. Nothing wrong about it. But I have not been able to value time as energy. What do I do in that? We celebrate birthdays in a very grand manner. For what? Birthday is only a point to say that you have completed XYZ years of life. That means so much of time has elapsed already. We are not recognizing their time as energy. We celebrate the 50th birthday, 60th birthday, some massive celebrations are held according to Hindu tradition. On the wrong reasons, wrong foundation. It's only an indication to the human being, look, you have spent 6 decades on this planet Earth. What have you achieved? Again, when we say achievement, that achievement is all through the sensory perceptions. Look, I went to Harvard, I got educated. I became the CEO of XYZ organization. We claim our materialistic accomplishments even in that context, but never on the happiness portion, because the life is going to end up, which we have been seeing. There is no proof required. We are also not bothered about how a baby is born. Medical fraternity says when the baby is delivered, the baby is born. But how does a soul enter the embryo at the 90th day of pregnancy of a female? Who is doing it? Did you give any treatment? Did you give any injection? Did you give any tablet? What made the fetal heart to begin? There are no answers. Doctors would say this is normal. All the major events are being treated as just normal. A man dies, why does he die? He's in a multi-speciality hospital. You have got everything under the sun, including transplantation of any organ that you say, liver, kidney, whatnot, heart. Why should he die at all? Again, we have deviated too much away from the spiritual point, spiritual perspectives. So spirituality, this is what I call as spiritually anemic. By birth we are spiritually anemic. We just don't want to recognize it because I'm busy with my own profession. My sons are studying, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. We keep on giving stories about it. But in reality, we have neither recognized the birth nor are we going to recognize the death. When the death takes place, people cry about it. Least realizing the day is waiting for them too. Everybody is in a queue. Queue is long enough. What did we do in that? Every move of ours is directly pointing towards sensual pleasures. The 10th portal or the Shiva Netra, we are not able to, we do not want to recognize, we know about it, but we don't want to recognize it because it simply doesn't suit us. The simple reason is, first of all, there are no forums to talk about it. For example, I'm not trying to appreciate and praise Hindu University of America just because you have given me a platform to talk about it. No matter where I talk, after all, this is the truth. There are no, in the education system, you are not talking about soul, you are not talking about mind, you are talking about only academics, discipline, which branch of medicine or engineering you have to take, so on and so forth. We are not educating our own children. There is a formality in many of the different sections of the Indian society to conduct a thread ceremony like that. It has become very notional. To make one more point absolutely clear is that these ceremonies are held for what? Brahmopadesha. That is, the initiating the person to the knowledge of Brahma. Are we doing it? If you translate it, Adhyatmika, that is, Adhyayana of Atma. Are we doing it? We are only conducting functions after functions. Every function ends up in a feast. You just feed people, you clap hands, okay, you meet, it's a social engagement, it's an entertainment, not even recreation. You can't recreate. Recreation is you go and take off from your routine and relax in a beach, think for yourself what have you achieved, what you want to do. No, it's not even recreation, it's entertainment. So it is, Adhyatmika is not Adhyayana of Atma. It has become a ritual. Even if you go by English word, spirituality, it is a ritual of the spirit. Are we doing it? We go to temples, crowded temples, wait in the queue, pay money. Nowadays you can do a puja even online, e-puja, electronic puja. Just give your name and nakshatra and things like that and then get a puja done and you expect miracles to happen. No, it won't happen. Whole universe, the entire humanity is guided by the law of karma, the doctrine of karma, as you sow, so shall you reap. Since we are not going too deep into that, I have made a passing remark on that. So there again the mind has an impact. The karmas, the previous life's karmas are carried forward. We don't even seem to believe of late even the rebirth, reincarnation, nothing of the sort. It has been given a total goodbye. Though in India it exists. I have already mentioned that India is the spiritual capital of the globe. Undoubtedly, yes, I do contribute that, I do subscribe to that. But there itself we are losing our base and we are trying to do everything else under the sun, unmindful of the basic elements of soul and mind. Unless we educate our children, at least initiate our children into that, I think the future generation is going to suffer a lot. Now, today we want sophistication in everything. All the normal things what we are doing, like handwriting, like talking, one-to-one, eye-to-eye contact, everything is now getting electronic. I'm not trying to find fault with the technological advancements. That is not done. I'm not pessimistic about it. We have become slaves of these electronic gadgets rather than being masters. Use it when you like. Today I need a microphone and an amplifying device. Yes, I will use it, but I'm not going to be a slave of it. If 25 people or 100 people assemble here, I can still talk. I need to raise my volume. That's inbuilt faculty is given to everybody. Every human being has that. When you want to shout at somebody, you can shout, 100 people can hear. Why do you need an amplifier? I have a sophistication, I use it. Then every day you call me for addressing a meeting. Yes, I need an amplifier, I say. Why? It's not required. You can manage even without that. So this is how we have become spiritually anemic. Now coming to our main point, that is a life of zero gravity. Shiva Netra, the pineal gland region, according to the medical professionals, is nothing but the Triveni Sangama. That is the seat of the mind, body currents, and the soul. Seat of the body currents, mind, and the soul. It is a fountainhead of energy. Anything and everything that goes on in the world is through the eye center or the Shiva Netra. How you want to deploy the resources is up to you. One wants to be a criminal, stealing, murdering, yes, he can do that. One wants to be a saint, he can do that. One wants to achieve something, accomplish something materialistic, a good degree, become a big corporate guy, yes, Shiva Netra is involved, but he doesn't know. He's getting the energy from the Shiva Netra. As simple as that. So why will he care? Why will he talk about it? You talk about spirituality today, you talk about God's spirituality, it's a curse. People say, oh no, this man, this businessman talks about God. No, I don't think he's a businessman. It has come to that stage. And we always complain, look, we don't have time. There's plenty of time. We are not able to use it. A day of 24 hours, mind is occupied only for a few hours. We are not using the mind power to the fullest extent. 24 hours we are not using. Even in a working day of 8 to 10 hours, mind is used only for a short period. There's a huge amount of dissipation of the mental energy. The power of the mind is being dissipated for nothing. The thoughts are going on in the mind continuously. While we are driving, we are thinking about something which is unrelated to maybe the profession itself. But if a man wants to complete his PhD, maybe thinking about his subject, look, what should I write? I wrote a word yesterday, that why should I not change that word to something? There the mind comes into picture. Are we using it? Practically everybody can use the tips, hints and points given in the 3 books which I have published effectively and elongate the working hours by at least another 4 hours and also be at peace. And the Shiva Netra or the Triveni Sangama, as I said, the seat of the body, currents, mind and soul. That is the point of gravity for a human being. That is where the equilibrium of the human body exists. And that is why I have chosen the word zero gravity. That is a point of zero gravity. Once you are able to reach that, the time and space is immaterial. You become super conscious. And in that level of super consciousness, you experience a state of weightlessness. NASA has its specially designed low gravity aircraft called as Vomit Comet. And they take, to train the astronauts, they take in that Vomit craft, which is specially designed. It's a parabolic flight. There's a free fall. When there is a free fall, the astronauts experience zero gravity, weightlessness. That is a scientific approach. The spiritual equivalent is raise your consciousness to the superconscious level, that is, gather all the attention currents at the eye center, sitting on the ground right here. You can experience the same thing by free rise against free fall taught by science, which is experience. We value that, we can't value this. How can I sit? How can I control my mind? I just sit for 2 minutes. I've given in my book, count 1 to 5 for 5 minutes, not by repeat 1 to 5, not by tongue, but by mind. Don't entertain any thought. Do it for 5 minutes. At the end of 5 minutes, please be honest to write down the thoughts that has crossed. You know then you will be able to appreciate my statement. Mind it is so heavy, it's a mass, it carries the weight of the earth. Then only you can appreciate it, then you cannot do it. These things won't gain any momentum in this world because our background has been totally eroded today. And unfortunately, people who are able to mention or give some hints and tips are not able to get the right platform, and there are no takers for it because I'm not interested. I got a movie ticket booked at 1 o'clock, I have to rush. We wait in the queue and take. We spend precious time in booking a movie. We spend money. We eat something not required. Again, go to a doctor. This has been the routine. That has been a pleasure. It's essential pleasure, what our eyes enjoys. And there we are lost. Now, leading a life without appreciating the Shiva Netra or the third eye is something like attempting to prepare sweets without sugar, talking about oceans without water, visualizing mountains without stones. How valid it's going to be. So, to summarize my talk, my presentation, it's high time we first understand this, transfer it to our younger ones, maybe children, maybe whoever it is in a classroom. There are no subjects today. The academic career or academic timetable is filled up with plenty of subjects, lot of knowledge we think we are acquiring, least knowing that the knowledge flows down from the eye center. We are not telling the students to concentrate. They have lost concentration. They can't sit in a place for 5 minutes and do something constructive. Get a mobile phone, they use that. Just goes on and on and on. So, a life of zero gravity means it's a human life being carried forward, we move on by appreciating the spiritual center of gravity of the human being, and then only there can be peace in this world, then only there can be something, good things happening in the world. Otherwise this massive confusion, corruption, frauds, disharmony, terrorism, everything will go forward. There is no end to it. And the more we get entangled with the sensual pleasures, the more we suffer. And we have to decide whether we want pleasure or happiness. If the answer is happiness, then no one is asking you to quit your job and go to Himalayas and be a sannyasi. No. You can very well do it right in your home, but recognize these points, tell your children, tell the youngsters, tell the society, look, these are the things which you need to value, these are something invaluable. Start looking into it so that your life can be peaceful. You can also enjoy your present life in a better manner once you are able to recognize the importance of Shiva Netra, which I call it as the Triveni Sangama. It is not 2-3 rivers meeting at one point, you go and take a dip there or do some kind of ritual. No. Adhyatmika is Adhyayana of Atma, study of the Atma. Spirituality is a ritual of the spirit, not conducting functions. not celebrating and entertaining people with, give them a good feast, good and sweet, all this. So let us come to realities. Let us take a hint from saints and mystics to make our own life more meaningful. Otherwise, the life will end up. It just doesn't end up. There is the theory of reincarnation or rebirth. Rebirth, nobody has assured. Rebirth as a human being dies, he may be born as anything in the world. Rebirth is a matter only when he or she has conducted himself or herself in the most acceptable, morally acceptable, righteous methods. Then only he will be born as a human being, lest he may go down the ladder of creation, maybe an animal, XYZ. We will not demotivate anybody. So it is to put an end to a cycle of life and death. The answer is Shiva Netra. And there is no shortcut method. You need to sit and practice concentration. In whatever circumstances we may be in, no matter what are our other worldly problems, spend at least half an hour a day, early in the morning. Repeat any name you like. Focus your attention at the eye center. Repeat any name not by tongue but by mind. Control the thoughts. As you start gaining concentration, the life also becomes more harmonious. There will be equilibrium in so many activities of our life, whether we recognize or not, it's going to happen. And we are not doing that. And the best part of it is today, even the most renowned medical professionals have started advocating meditation. I have recently seen a YouTube presentation done by a cardiac surgeon who is working in the United States, and he has quoted with facts and figures comparing few patients whom he met, who interviewed them, and he has suggested, he has recommended meditation. And unless we resort to concentration from a wider perspective is just not for spirituality, even for children. Teach them concentration. They can be told to get up half an hour early in the morning, 15 minutes early to start with. Repeat any name, be it if you are a Christian, Jesus, if you are a Hindu, Ram, Om, whatever. If you are a Muslim, okay, Allah, whatever. Name doesn't matter. There is no religion created by God. It is only human beings who have created the religion. And repeat it mentally. Avoid all thoughts. Focus your attention at the eye center. You can feel the body currents rising up the body. Where there is no body current, that portion becomes numb. As you progress more and more in concentration, entire body becomes numb. And at the eye center, you are a free man. The concept of time and weight, nothing of it holds good. It is non-materialistic. You are at the top of the world, which is the first step of the ladder for spiritual accomplishment. I am not saying that reaching the eye center will totally take you away from the cycle of birth and death. No, it's not that. There are many more points which we are not going to. And unfortunately, I have to make a remark on the existing spiritual gurus, though I am not trying to find fault with any specific name. They are talking about meditation. They are doing it in their own method. There is money involved. There is name involved. In reality, a perfect saint who knows how to make selected people to reach the spiritual zones, he or she won't come on the television. There won't be any publicity. They do not want any money. They want nothing except that follow what I am saying. You don't give me anything. I will give you what I have. I will share whatever I have. I don't think we have gurus of that kind. We have spiritual masters coming from various walks of life. and claiming their own philosophy, which is far away from that. If you have to sit and meditate, you have to close your eyes, you have to be isolated, you have to be in a peaceful place. But even in a city like New York, in a crowded street, you can still practice meditation. Nothing prevents, because mind is not affected by that. External ambience will only help, but can't create a bent of mind to do that. So this is something which every human being, no matter what social status, what is the routine, whether he is poor or rich, which walk of life he is taking, which course of action he is taking in life, doesn't matter. Every human being is privileged. God is 100% dynamic, democratic, equal opportunities for everybody, the same sunshine, same space, same time. We are not using it. So let us be determined to tell our younger generation to sit in meditation, if you want to call it as meditation, to make it more easy. Children may not say, okay, spirituality, I'm not interested. We'll say at least sit and concentrate at the eye center. He need not know what eye center is about. He can simply be told to repeat some name 15 minutes without entertaining any thought, not by tongue but by mind. You see the difference. In 6 months, he'll be a different child. But are we doing that? Why don't we publicize this and tell people to follow the righteous method? And you can enjoy the pleasures of the world. I'm not against pleasures. I'm not blaming your hype on a car, your hype on a mobile, computer, nothing I'm blaming. I'm only saying use it. It will be more usable when you're able to focus, when you're able to concentrate your attention on what you want to achieve. Set your goals, and time is energy. You can't say just a day, just a day. No, it is just not a day. It's something unimaginable. You can't get a split second more. God will not give you back. He is the creator. He has already defined it. He won't. He has made the rule. He is not going to break it. The opportunities are uniform. It's 100% democracy you see in God. There is a democratic world. It is the universe which is created by God. He gives the same sunshine, same moonlight to everybody. And we are carried away by the technological advancements today, unmindful of that. When I mentioned that a treatise of human nature, written by David Hume in 1873, that is the book which Einstein has accepted. Yes, spiritual and philosophical perspectives are important. You need to recognize. You don't go only by effects. Human life is only 50%. We are only quoting everything by virtue of effects. The causes we do not know. Someone gets a good degree from a university, recognized university. 50 people graduating the same batch. 10 people get good jobs. 40 may not get good jobs. Out of 40, 10, even 5, 10 may be unemployed. What is that reason? Same university, same degree certificate, same faculty. What has gone wrong? You talk about brain. They have the same brain, the same anatomical structure. It's a mind. Mind is an aftermath of the karma theory. And you are destined to be that. When we talk about destiny, don't tell me all that. We talk about God. No, in business you should not talk. People have told me, okay, don't talk about God. You see, when you go to gatherings, you don't talk about God. Fine. I mean, this is one of the advice given by a very highly educated man. At one point of time, he used to visit USA thrice a month. He was a CEO, COO, CTO of so many very big companies. He said that, no, don't talk about God. But when he got into distress, then you talk about God. And God comes in the end, not in the beginning. Why don't you take God in the front, not in the end? So thank you very much for your patience. I hope I have made my points clear. And kindly make it a point to spread the news around that children should be first. We should understand and tell the children about it. My 3 books, I'm not trying to sell the books. It's not the commercial aspect of it. It is highly concise, it's precise, it is to the point. All the religious literature running into several hundreds and thousands of pages, probably entire area can be covered with philosophical literature. It doesn't help. It's only, it's like a stamp collection. We don't get anything out of reading it. practice it. That is what I have written in the book. I have enumerated these points to the most minimum extent that is required for us to understand under our present circumstances. Don't talk about philosophy. It doesn't have, there are so many theories, so many kinds of religious differences, ex-quoting, way, Dvaita, Brahmin, non-Brahmin. So many things are coming up, but actually it is not that. Whatever I have written in the 3 books, which are highly concise, 3 books, each book is about 70 pages, 80 pages, not more than that. And one exclusively for students I have done is only 30, 40 pages. I have given it in bullet points because at that age, that is all what is required. Let us try to follow some of them and you find the difference. You will be able to enjoy your life, as it is also much better once we are able to get hold of, think of Shiva Netra and start doing something right from this hour. So this is what I have to say. Thank you very much for giving me a forum. I must thank Hindu University of America for giving me the platform to disseminate this much information. And I thank Abhinav Dwivedi and his colleagues for making all the requisite arrangements. I do hope the message will spread through Hindu University of America to as many people as possible. I know the limitations. There are no takers for spirituality. I'm not saying it's spiritual. Please read the books. It's practical. I'm not saying that go to Himalayas and meditate, wear saffron robes and come and talk about all these things. No, nothing. Dress doesn't make a saint is a famous proverb. And those who want to be spiritualistic, want to disseminate the truth of the universe, there won't be any show at all. There won't be any newspaper advertisement, TV advertisements. We just do it in a simple manner. The truth is that Shiva Netra is the important thing. And what do you get out of Shiva Netra? It is a weightlessness. It's a first step towards emancipation. Even if emancipation from the cycle of birth and death is not required, is not our subject, doesn't matter, leave it aside. Let us try to concentrate and make our own God-given skills function much, much, much better. Even if you want to achieve a materialistic goal, I'm not discouraging that. Even for your materialistic goal, this is required because that's a fountainhead of energy. So with these few words, I would like to end up my discussion. Thanks a lot for the